Hello and welcome everybody. My name is Mark. This is Riffle, Shuffle, and Roll. And today I'm giving you a look at a little game called Pitch 6. Ooh. If it's your first time visiting the channel, be sure to hit subscribe and the bell so you're notified about new games every week. Pitch 6 is a trick-taking card game for 3 to 6 players. As you can guess from the name, it is a pitch variation. This is a fun take on the classic American card game. There are 6 points available, and I'll detail those here in the video. Now, this game was published by Hasbro and Parker Brothers back in 2002. I was able to get my hands on an unopened, brand new copy off of Amazon. But you don't need to do that because all it is a standard 52 card deck. It does have a fun Western theme to it, as you can see by, we got our little cactus here on the ace, and got some cowboys and people from that era on the court cards. But that's it. Aside from some special cues on the cards that help remind you how the scoring works, it's just a regular deck. So I'm going to show you how to play this game. I'm going to put some notes in the description for the main points of how to play, like a quick summary, and you should be able to play this no problem. I am really excited about this variation of Pitch. Pitch has quickly become my favorite game of all time. Pitch is awesome. There's so many different ways to play, and this is just another great one to add to the list. So with all that said, let's dive in and learn how to play. Out of the box, you will get an instruction booklet and a 52 card deck. The deck consists of 4 standard suits: clubs, diamonds, hearts, and spades, and each suit has cards 2 through ace. As you can see, it's just a standard deck of cards. One thing they do to make this deck unique though, and suited for the game, is put extra cues on the cards that help players earn points. So I will get into the specifics on how to earn points here in a moment, but the 6, you can see the 6 has a highlighted background. It's black, showing you that that is worth a point, and the jack as well. And each suit has a background behind the index number or rank. And the game point is won by collecting these cards. Each card has a value, so like 10s are worth 10, and you can see they add that here below the pip. Jacks are worth 1 towards that game point, and so on, all the way up to the ace, which is worth 4. And you can see they gave special illustrations to each of the royal cards: the jack, the queen, the king. Only the ace of spades has a special center pip. To set up for the game, determine a dealer, and that player will deal 6 cards to each player. Be sure to deal them out 3 at a time. The rest of the cards are placed off to the side and they are not used. So players will begin the round with a bid, bidding on how many points they think they can capture if they get to pitch trump, if they get to determine the trump suit for the round. There are 6 available, and they're not always going to all be available. So the player who captures the highest trump suited card earns that point, the high. So if the ace is in play, that will be worth a point. If the ace is out of play, it'll be the king or the queen. Whatever the highest ranking card in the trump suit is, that will be worth 1 point. Then it's the low. And if the 2 is in play, then it's the 2. If it's the 3, it's the 3, and so on. Whatever the lowest ranking card in the trump suit is in play, that's the point card. Then you get one for the trump suited jack. This might not be in play. There's a chance that could be in the kitty. There will always be a high point. There will always be a low point. The jack, though, might not be out there, so you have to keep that in mind when bidding. The next is the trump suited 6. Again, this may or may not be in play, so you shouldn't count on it to be there for a point. And then there is the last trick, so whoever captures the last trick earns a point. And then there is the game point. So all of the cards ranked jack, queen, king, ace, and 10 have a secondary value, and those points will win the player who captures the most of them the game point. So jacks are worth 1, queens are 2, kings are 3, aces are 4, and all of the 10s are worth 10. The player that captures the most of these points earns the game point. If there is a tie between the pitcher and another player, the pitcher wins the game point. But if there's a tie between two defenders, no one gets the game point. When bidding, you must keep in mind that players will only earn points equal to their bid if they meet their bid. So if you bid 2 and capture 3 of the points, you still only get 2 points for the round. So make sure you consider carefully what's in your hand and what you think you're going to be able to capture, and try to bid as aggressively as you can. The round begins with a bid. So the player left of the dealer, also known as the eldest hand, will begin the bidding phase. We're going to play that our dealer is here at the bottom of the screen. The minimum bid that a player can make is 3. The maximum bid is 6. If a player bids 6, that means they're going to take every point. So our player here left of the dealer will pass. If a player doesn't think they can take 3 or more points, they may pass. Bid passes left. This player looks at their hand and they have an ace, 8, 3, all in the same suit. So they're feeling pretty good about that hand. They're going to bid 3. Bid passes left. This player does not want to bid higher. A player must bid higher or pass. So they pass. Now we get back to the dealer. The dealer has a special privilege. They can steal the bid. They do not have to bid higher than the previous one. They can just bid the same as the highest bid up to that point. So here we have a bid of 3. The dealer wants to steal it, and they're going to go for 3. At this point, whoever's keeping score should document the bid, and now the dealer is going to pitch trump. So whoever wins the bid is called the pitcher, and they're called that because the first card they play will determine trump. That's called pitching trump. So they're going to go ahead and lead their king of hearts to the first trick. Trump is hearts. That should be written down too in the score pad. From this point on, for this first trick, players must play a heart if they can. The only heart that the next player had was the 8 of hearts, so they played that and play passes. The next player only had the 3 of hearts, so they played that to the trick and play passes. And the final player only had the 4 of hearts, so they played it to the trick. And the highest card in the suit that is led, or the highest trump card, wins the trick. So our king of hearts wins it. The dealer will collect the trick and lead the next one. The dealer decides to lead the 5 of clubs. Pitch 6 is a may trump game. So that means following players have a couple options when a non-trump card is led. They can either follow suit or trump the trick. So here the next player does have some clubs, so they could follow suit if they wanted to, or they could trump in. Now unfortunately they don't have any trump cards, so now that means they must follow suit. Of course, if the player does not have any of cards in the same suit that is led, they may play anything they want. But here, you know what, they're going to go for it. They're going to play the big dog, the ace of clubs, and pass left. Our next player does not have any clubs, and they do not have any trump cards. So no matter what they play, they are not going to win this trick. So their best decision is to just throw off some non-point garbage card. They throw off the 3 of spades and pass to the left. Our final player must either play a club or they can trump if they want. If they don't have any trump, then they have to follow suit. They do have the king of clubs, and that is their only option, so they have to play it to the trick. The ace of clubs wins the trick. So this player will collect the cards and lead the next one. They lead the 9 of clubs and play passes around the table. Players can either follow suit or trump. If they can't follow suit, they can play any card. Let's go ahead and fast forward to the end of this trick. Our dealer has decided to trump in on this trick and play the 10 of hearts. So they win the trick because they have the highest ranking card in the trick. They didn't play a club, but they played a trump card. So they collect that trick and lead the next one. The dealer led the 7 of diamonds. Everybody could follow suit and nobody else had trump, so the ace of diamonds wins the trick. They collect the card and lead the next one. They lead out the 8 of diamonds. The next player couldn't follow suit, so they played their queen of spades. The dealer decided to play off instead of trump, because remember, they have the choice. If they can't follow the lead suit, they can play anything. And the final player in the trick had to follow suit with the 6 of diamonds. So here the 8 wins the trick. They collect the cards and we finally get to the last trick. The 3 of diamonds was led, but the 9 of hearts takes the trick. So our dealer has won the final trick and they earn 1 point for that. At the end of the round, you tally up the score. The bid winner is the first to tally up their score. The first thing they do is check to see if they made their bid. So our dealer bid 3 and they earned their 3 points. They got 1 for high, 1 for low, and 1 for the last trick. Since they made their bid, they earn 3 points. If they would have captured more than 3, let's say they captured 5 points, they still would have only earned 3 for the round. After the bid winner has tallied up their score, the other players then check their cards and tally up theirs. It is still possible for the bid winner to have won the game point, even though it won't go to their score. They could have effectively kept another player from getting it. So we're going to keep their point cards out. The only thing of value that player 2 captured was the ace and the king. So right now, they're tied with the dealer for that game point. Player 2 at the top of the screen did capture some valuable cards as well. They've got 8 points going towards that game point. So as of this moment, they are winning the game point. Player 3 did not capture anything. They didn't capture a single trick. So the game point is awarded to player 2 at the top of the screen. So for this round, the bid winner won 3 points to their score. Player 1 earned nothing. Player 2 earned 1 for the game. And player 3 earned nothing. A big old goose egg. Once the score for the round has been tallied, collect the cards and deal passes left. Continue playing rounds until one player reaches 12 or more points as the bid winner. You cannot win the game as a defender. You can only win as the bid winner. So if you reach 12 points as a defending player, you cannot be declared the winner until you win the bid and then meet your bid and earn those points. And that's how to play pitch 6. All right, so this is just a pitch variant. There is really nothing super special about it. The cards are not unique to the game. It's a standard 52 card deck. What Hasbro and Parker Brothers has done is create a really tight and interesting way to play the game. They've essentially created a variation that I think is very compelling. You've got the last trick, which was already typically a juicy trick because people tend to hold on to those higher point cards until the end in case they can snag control of the lead. So the last trick was already usually worth something, but now it's worth a whole point towards your score. And I think that's really cool. Some of the other settings that they've chosen, like that the dealer can steal, that's awesome. That really makes people think about what they're bidding and to bid as aggressively as they can to force a steal that might be a little too uncomfortable for the dealer. Also, you only score what you bid. Again, that motivates a higher bid and kind of adds a little more risk to the bidding process. And then you can only win on a bid. Again, you cannot win as a defender. You must take charge, you must bid, and you must bid aggressively in order to become the winner. The only hang up I have with that particular rule is that a player can purposefully overbid, driving their score down only to keep somebody from winning. Now they've put in a little if-then statement in their instructions that once there's a gap, if a player hits 12 points and then there is a gap of 12 points between them and another player, the game ends and they win. But I think that's a little too fiddly. What you should do is say you can only win on a bid or if you set as the defender. So that way you can still have a clear winner. You don't necessarily have to bid to win, but you definitely need to play very well. And it keeps somebody from overbidding in check, because if they do and they get set, then we have a winner. The final piece to pitch 6 that I really enjoy is the trump 6 being worth only 1 point. Now what separates it from games like Cinch and Pedro is that the trump 5 would be worth 5 points. And I think that really disrupts the bid and makes it wonky. I don't care for those games. I tolerate the 3 and 10-point pitch being worth 3 points because it is a little more, it's a little more valuable, but it's not completely winning a bid for that player. And I feel like the 5-point trump 5 in Pedro, or 10 points being out there for the trump 5 and the off 5, I just feel like that's too much. It just throws the game off too much, but that's just my opinion. Cinch was a very, very, very popular way to play for good reason, but it's just not my cup of tea. I think having that trump 6, it's right there in a dangerous area within the trump suit, and having it only be worth 1 point, I think that is perfect. So again, I think this is a wonderful variation of pitch. I think it's worth playing, and I will have the details for like a quick game summary down in the description. Thank you for watching. Until next time, keep on playing.